played today. I felt like what I was most proud of today wasn't the birdies as much as it was when it didn't go my way. We managed to make pars on quite a few holes where I could have made worse. 1, 2, even 9, 8. That was a really good 4 on 8. And then like 16 coming in, that kind of up and down on 15 and 16, both of those. It just keeps momentum going. If you hit a poor shot, you get it up and down. I hit 52 degrees on 1 and 2 to get those ones up and down on 2 of the hardest holes today. And then let the birdies kind of come to us. A lot of tap-ins and a couple longer putts.
All right, great. Let's go right into questions. Rex?
You said looking at the leaderboard, did you see that Brooks had gotten you within one stroke? And at that point, you found an answer. You sort of had that feeling driving up?
I saw that he was within 2 when I was on number 9. When I was reading my long birdie putt, and I saw that he still had a couple easy holes left, so I figured he'd go at least 1 more under. So I figured at that point he'd be within 1 of my score at the time. I was also aware that he was 5 or 6 holes ahead. Therefore, I still have that many holes to try and that many birdie chances. Considering each hole, you kind of once you get to number 9, you should have a pretty legitimate chance for birdie on the majority of the holes left. So Michael did a great job of keeping me patient. I started out the day with just kind of an off-range session. I wasn't feeling great. I felt pretty good with my putter before the round, but swinging, I just wasn't feeling like I was the last 2 days. I've hit a lot of straight balls the last 2 days. I was kind of bleeding it out to the right. And so I was a little frustrated to start the round, and then he really turned it around when I got off there on the bad break on 8, and 8 through 11 was a tough stretch for me, striking the ball. But we still played, those holes 1 over when it could have been worse, I guess, and made up for it.
All right, Rob?
We did the math yesterday. As far as I can tell, you're still on pace for Ernie's number. Does that come into play at all tomorrow if you're comfortably ahead? You start thinking about 30, 31, 32 maybe?
I think it's a great goal to set, to try and set something to shoot for versus trying to look at behind you at who's coming up. Again, there's going to be a lot of birdies made before I even tee off, and in groups in front, they're going to make birdies or eagles before we even get to those holes. So, luckily, between me, Brooks, and Patrick, we've separated ourselves. I think the next closest is at 14. And what's that?
9-9.
Yeah, so, it kind of comes down to us 3, I would say, knock on wood. But I'll have an idea considering we've now had some separation. But I think that shooting to try and get to, what am I at, 24? Trying to get to 30 would be a fantastic number to set for tomorrow. That would be a place that I've never been. I want to say Tiger's event, I maybe got to 26 2 years ago, which is the best golf I've ever played to par. And I think shooting to try and get to 30 would be something that would be a fantastic goal and one that I should win the tournament if that happens.
All right,
You never know with the way they're freaking playing.
Kind of this quasi-break in the season, a short game, particularly sharp today. I wonder if you could speak in general terms on that, and specifically why you threw the ball up in the air on 15, and if you can keep all this together, the difficulty of chip on 16.
Yeah, I am a bit surprised in my chipping because I have not put much time into my chipping whatsoever in the last month. So that's what I put a good amount of time in this week. But typically, I need more prep to feel through the ground, prior to coming to a tournament. And it's all part me, part I wanted to rest, whatever it is. I've been more focused on putting and swing than I have been chipping. It's been spectacular this week. I've been extremely pleased with it. I've been around 100% minus number 8 and 9 today, which neither one was a legitimate chance at an up and down considering lies and what I had. I'm a bit surprised. 15, I threw the ball up in the air because I got behind the green, and if it were down grain and just sitting normal, I could have just kind of just hit the 60 and landed it halfway on the fringe with a little check and ran it down. But it had sat down, sitting a little down in the grass and into the grain. So if I try and hit that lower one that just trundles down, it's very difficult to actually land that on the correct spot. And for me, I would have had to land it on an area about this wide, which it's only 8 feet in front of me, so you'd think it's not too bad. But short or long of that spot is gonna send it, out of birdie range. If I had the wind favoring me, it was almost a similar shot in a sense in my mind to Saturday at Augusta, thinking I could throw this up. If it carries onto the green, there's enough wind to hold it from going too far, and if it lands just short, I've just got more room for air. If it lands just short, it's still going to bound down and get, no matter what, within 6 feet. So I felt like it was actually the safer shot given the lie. 16 was a huge up and down. Poor decision on my third. I tried to force a lob wedge in versus just punching a sand wedge, knowing that that's so severe right there. It's a 4 degree slope, maybe 3.5 degree slope. And the harder you hit a lob wedge, the more it's going to spin. So that was just a bad decision. It was a great 52 degree pitch up the ridge to leave it not only below the hole, but without any stress.
All right,
I told Michael walking off, that was a huge shot for me. And let's go ahead and hit, let's put 4 really solid swings on the ball the next 2 holes so we don't have to do any more of this chipping. And I was a little, I had a bit of it, so that was a really, really nice up and down that saved a lot of momentum and a lot of stress in my mind.
Did you catch a break on it?
Did I catch a break? I caught a terrible break. I caught a break. It was the ball hit no more than 6 feet from the green, and it hit in the bunker. You never think if it hits in the lip of a bunker, it's going to go down through the bunker and out. And I guess there was a chance. It never crossed my mind that it would be out of the bunker. And I practiced from that sand trap to that pin, and it's not too bad. It's steep, but you have room to fly it behind it. And when I struck the shot, I thought it was all over the flagstick. So I didn't think it was a poor swing at all. It just failed to hit the wind the way I thought. And then it just came through. It was clay, it was almost clay up in the lip of that bunker. That's why it hit so firm. And it just bounded through, and it sat kind of up against the other collar. I mean, I hit a 1 out of 10 shot on that flop shot to get it that close to the hole.
All right, Cameron and then Brian.
Getting to number 1 is one thing, but staying there is something else. Have you had any advice from Tiger or anyone else?
Not really. I think it'd be wise to ask he or Rory or, you could even ask Phil what it's like to stay at the level he's been at for so many years. I think it'd be wise to ask more questions than I do. I haven't done much. I haven't received a whole lot of advice on staying there other than keep on trying to win tournaments. I mean, the more you win, the higher up in the rankings you're going to stay. So, but if you're talking about how to control a lot of the noise on the outside and really stay disciplined and strive towards something else, I'm trying to figure some of that out on my own because everyone's different, but I do think there is something in asking someone like Tiger a lot of questions on how he's been able to do it.
Is it a little bit like when you're leading a tournament by 4, you want to make it 5 or 6 or 7?
Setting a new sort of standard or goal, I don't know because I haven't kept, I kept this ranking through, I guess, the Tour Championship through the off season, but I lost it right after I got it in the first place. So, I could see it being like that, but I don't know how the whole point system works. I don't know my average points. I don't look at it. So I don't, as far as setting an actual number goal on where you want to be in the rankings, I don't know that, but I'm sure there's some way to help try and strive a little bit more forward.
All right, Brian and then Rex.
Can you just walk us through that second shot on 18 and call it the mentality difference between the 5 shot and the shot?
It was the exact same shot I had on 17. Same yardage. I think my ball carried 224 adjusted on 17 and went to 232 is what Michael walked off. And then on 18 I had 226 or something to the front, 236 hole adjusted. So it was the exact same. I wanted to hit the exact same shot that I had just hit. And the hardest part about that shot is you need to stay aggressive with it so you don't just whale it out to the right. But there's a fine line in that being aggressive and being over-aggressive, and all of a sudden you've given yourself a tough chance to even make par if you make the worst mistake. And you wouldn't think that's that hard for us to do, but that slope is so significant in the fairway. I mean, you're hitting the ball, like this with a 3-iron, which now turns almost into a 1-iron. And that's what's so different. We don't normally see that shot with that kind of iron. I was fortunate I had the same exact shot on 17 with a very similar lie. I was able to get the one on 17 maybe a little more up in the air, but on 18 you can work with it. I didn't have to hit it hard. I just tried to put a smooth swing and get a decent strike on it. I was more worried about the line. And when it came off the club face, I hit it, almost solid. I didn't smash it. I hit it maybe a groove low and a groove off the toe, which is perfect for that shot. And then in midair, I told Mike, that should be perfect. And it ended up getting nice. At that point, you just worry about the roll. Got great bounces.
Well, how different is the mentality?
Yeah. It makes a very big difference. I asked Michael in the fairway before hitting the second shot, what did Brooks ended up getting it to? Did he stay at 18 or did he get to 19? So I knew I was up 3. And so in my mind, 3 and 4 is significant. So I didn't even think about eagle. I was thinking we need to really stay down, grind this one out for birdie. Give ourselves the easiest chance for birdie we can. 3 and 5 tomorrow. I was looking at the forecast. It's next to nothing on the wind, so you got to expect Brooks, Patrick to shoot somewhere in the 7 under, 7-8 under range. That's what I have to expect out of them tomorrow. And if that's the case, I've got to go out there and shoot in the 60s in order to win once again. And to be honest, with the scoring we've done this week, it frustrates me that I have to shoot 4 to 6 under in order to win this tournament still. But that's just the level of golf that's been played. The first round, you compare the first round with today, the level of golf has just gone up significantly. And the first round was no wind, 1 8 under, 1 7 under, the rest 6. All of a sudden you bring a bunch of wind in away from the way the course is designed to play, and you got a 10 under, you got 8 unders, you got 7. I mean, it's the games that everyone has been stepped up, almost just shedding off a bit of rust, and you got to think it's just going to continue tomorrow.
Rex?
What was Lawrence you played both ways this week? One was just both of the other.
And Jordan